Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is very suspicious in my life, going on in my face-to-face life, you know. As I say, it's all real life, whether it's online or off, but this is face-to-face kind of thing. And it's something that's very suspicious. And of course, it's kind of like a mystery. I don't know what is it going on. Now, I'm not very histrionic, so I don't know if I can, you know, tell it like how it is. It is very weird. I mean, tell it with that kind of voice. And, you know, when I try, it just sounds stupid. But, and it's a long story. It goes back for years. But recently, I mean, as in today, some of it, you know, was red flags waving. And there have been things online these days that, you know, red flags are waving all over the place. And I have made videos and I haven't made them public. It's my usual. One of them was just me trying to hold it together. It wasn't anything in my own personal life, but it was very sad. And could barely keep myself from crying during it. And I even said in it, I'm not going to make it public. I doubted I'd make it public, and I didn't make it public. And another one about, what was it? Protected groups, protected class, you know, as we call it here call it the same thing basically here in the United States, and that I am one of them who's protected for more than one reason. And in that protected class, so group. Anyway, class. Yeah, but there's my nervous laughter, and I am nervous because with all this going on all around, to see something in my face-to-face world that makes me go, what the crap, you know, what is really this? Is it some kind of a bigger thing than it could be? Could it be all coincidences? Could it be normal? I don't think so. I really doubt that. But it's not something like you'd see on TV, so don't get all, you know, like, oh, this is going to be this kind of huge mystery. It's just an everyday kind of thing. And, but the stuff behind it. Let me just get to it, okay? Okay, and I know it's probably going to take more than one video. I tried making videos, I think 3 today, and they were all messed up, so, about it. And, so I'm just going to start today, but there's so much in the before today, it will have to be on another video. And some of it that happened today will have to be on another video also. But today, basically, I had to get up, you know, early. I'm always up early, you know, 4 to 6 usually, somewhere in there with my insomnia. I had to go to do blood work, you know. It was kind of strange when I called them because I was having so much anxiety with so much going on. I was having, you know, I have panic disorder. Haven't really had an issue with it for many years, and then so much going on now that, anyway, so I called them and said that I want to do it by telemed. That's how I started off there, 2020, I think. And the woman said, she, you know, I guess she knew my voice. She didn't ask anything. But she said, why do you want to reschedule? All you're doing is coming in and getting blood work. And I said, what? You know, I had never heard that. They never told me. You know, you just come in and they draw blood and you go home. You don't see a doctor or you don't see anybody. Well, seeing a doctor is an issue as it is, because I've asked to see the doctor. I want to see the doctor. And I repeat myself because sometimes people don't listen. I want to see the doctor. Never have been able to for some reason. I get there and it's the PA, you know, like a PA or a, it is either the PA and or the nurse practitioner. Where's the doctor? Okay. I've spoken to the doctor back in 2020. I know once. And they don't introduce themselves. This just really bugs me. And as soon as you start to say something, they just start talking, and next thing you know, they're off the phone. So, you know, all I did in 2020 was to do over the phone. And then I went there and they took my blood work outside of the building. Okay, so all this stuff is relevant. It's kind of going to be kind of mixed up, but it's all relevant. And pretty much all of it. So anyway, today, I mean, I was like, well, that kind of kills, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, I would say kills two birds with one stone or whatever. But I don't like that expression. We have such weird expressions. But anyway, so I went, and I was having, you know, a difficult morning with one of my dogs, and the one I call my little buddy. I have to say it a certain way, and it's an inside joke. But, you know, so I was just ready to get there, and I got there, and I asked the woman, you know, I said, I've looked on the map, you know, because she said, well, look on the map. I said, I'm not from around there, and I'm not familiar with this place. And that's because, she said, well, I sent you a text that had the address, and I said, I know that. Their new address. I said, what is this, the 4th time recently for you to move? She jumped, and then she started being kind of rude. And I just want to get it done, get my medicines, move on. So, and appointments, any kind of appointment, anytime I have to be somewhere, I get anxious. Okay, I have anxiety, and I have reasons for that, besides the panic disorder. But, well, of course, you know, what led up to all that. But anyway, so, you know, and then I said, well, I have looked online, but I'm just not familiar with that area. Now, that's because I haven't really been to that area. And then whenever later on I looked at it, I made it bigger, and I said, oh, okay, now I get it. You know? But 4 times they've moved, and the first time I started seeing them actually in an office was, how many months would that be? That's, you know, just over, say, like maybe 10.5 months ago. So they haven't been not moved 4 times, but they moved 3 times, but they've been in 4 different office spaces. 4 in less than a year. To me, that's kind of suspicious. And I was telling, you know, joking, not kind of, but kind of joking with Adam yesterday, saying, man, they've moved so much, you know, that's just suspicious. Something's not right. But there's so much more to it that, yes, something's not right about all of it, about the past that may or may not involve them. And why can't I see the doctor? I ask, I want to see the doctor. Next time, nope, not the doctor. Where's the doctor? Yeah. Okay, I just had to delete another clip, and I don't know if it was in the first one or this one, that I said that all day today I kept having to delete clips, especially the one that was 7 minutes long, and right at the end of it, I messed it up. I'm pretty frustrated today. But I'm also pretty much where my brain is like, these things are just too much. Going to a doctor's office, I hope that was in the first clip. Going to a doctor's office, being told I have to see the doctor before I go to the second time. Then I say, okay, where is it? And they moved into another place. And luckily, one time I called because they said they had moved into another place. Well, I got them out of order, but altogether, I know if have I been to 4, or was it that I was supposed to go and then they said no, that they moved yet again, something like that. And that second one I was supposed to see the doctor, but it could have been that the doctor, when I went to go, they said no, we moved to somewhere else, and they didn't let me see the doctor. They let me see somebody else, PA, nurse. I think I saw both, whatever it was. See, my brain is so like, okay, these are too weird. The whole setup from before and what's going on now, just too weird. So anyway, and I was mentioning something about, if it may have been that clip I had to delete, about that on the way there, I was talking with him, doing a video, which I had, you know, it wasn't good. But I was talking about, anyway, sorry. On the way there, I was talking about in a video about that, Oh my goodness, my brain is taking a moment of vacation on me. But I was talking about whenever, some would say, when they listened to it, they would say, well, maybe they had to move, and they would come up with the reason like, well, did they move to a better place? And I said, a better office, just the office space inside itself. And buildings, all of them were nice, by the way. Overall, yeah, nice, kind of new. But but what about the actual office space? It can be very different. And the buildings can be nice. The office space inside can be pretty bad. And I said they, each time they were better. And, and some could say, well, that maybe the practice is improving. And I was talking about that in those videos, in the videos, clips that I, messed up. But anyway, so I was talking about that. That's important. I was talking about it on a video on the way to the doctor's office to have blood drawn. And when I got there, I looked at the building. It's a whole big, I guess you'd call it campus. I would use that word, but this is pretty nice. And I, like I had told the woman, I wasn't familiar with that area, so I wound up leaving 45 minutes before my appointment. You usually have to be there 15 minutes early anyway. And so I figured, I didn't know if there were going to be rush hour traffic and all that kind of stuff. I did not know. And I've never been in that area, and I don't know all that. So I got there, and it was probably like close to 30 minutes early, and it wasn't that far. And it was like one young woman it was like somebody, it was that somebody was dropping her off to work, but they sat there, and I was parked kind of at the end of the building, but they could see me, and the young woman was staring at me like she was seeing me as someone suspicious. Okay, so I drove around the campus, as I would call it, and went back, and she's still standing. And by the way, she was on her phone. She was dialing. She was standing outside the door, and she kept dialing number, whatever she was doing on her phone, and staring at me like, I shouldn't be there. Whatever. And that was, when I'm already suspicious, and then she's acting suspicious of me, you know what I'm saying? And I've had more than one kind of situation like that in my life. So I did the thing of going drive around and take my time. But anyway, so I got there. Finally the other ones started showing up when I got back. And one of them, the one that answered the phone, that she was kind of, all of a sudden got kind of rude. And I saw her, and I was like, I know her, because the times I had been in the office, that's the one that was there, and I spoke to her on the phone more than once. And I saw her walk up and said, she doesn't look right. Okay, not wearing a mask. Adam's doctor recently told him to be careful, make sure he wears a mask and all this stuff. And I always do. I learned my lesson. And so I'm looking at her. She's walking in, and I'm right there, parked right there in front. I was the only person there besides them. And she doesn't look right. That's important to part two. Perhaps it's part two. And so I go in there, and as soon as I walk in, I'm like, oh my goodness, are they doing construction? But really, what it looked more like was they quickly moved into an office. It's much smaller, much lower. The building is nice, like I said. Just probably as nice as the one they were in before, but the one they were in before looked kind of like high class. I'm just going to use that. High class doesn't sound right, but you get what I'm saying. This one, my goodness. I was like, what the crap? Crap, that's a good word for it. It was like some of the floor had been, when the floor meets, the hardwood floor meets the grungy looking carpet, the thing in between them, whatever beam, not beam, on the floor that transitioned from one room to another. It was all torn out, and part of the wall, and then the front desk, what would you call that? The board in front, I'm just going to put it that way, that doesn't really cover it, but the board in front of it, it was kind of in a box shape a little bit, and it was just wood. not painted, nothing. And the rest of the office, what I could see, really didn't have room for a doctor. What I could see for everything. And what is this? You see what I'm saying? Just what is it? And it just was very suspicious. And it was bad. I mean, it looked bad. It looked like they quickly had to move somewhere. You know, and they just found something that was unfinished. Whatever they could get into. And this would be my suspicion. Now, all this is my suspicion. All of these are my opinions. Like I said, it could have all been just coincidental. Just could have been so many other things going on behind the scenes that wouldn't be suspicious, would make it just, well, this is how it was. But that was the fourth one. And they had another office somewhere else. I don't know if they still have that. But that's a lot. Really. Seriously. Okay, but now, of course, you know, it could be that I just wasn't able to see everything, because you know how when you go into them, they're like it's like a maze. I don't know if it is like that where you are, but once you get behind the front part in the waiting room or whatever, once you get back into the doors, it's like, okay, a big maze. Every place I've been to is like that. Here, pretty much, except one, over many years. But they're a maze, you know, and if somebody, you can get all turned around by what they're doing, because they know where they're going. They've been there plenty of times, but somebody new, and you can, you know, I've heard them say this before, yeah, people get lost, you know, of course, when there's so many different, and they'll take you, like those that go in one way and come out another way. I've seen that. You go in one door, and then they take you through this maze, and then you're going to find your way out. You know, they say, well, you go out the other door. Okay, you want to show me where the other door is? Put arrows up, something. You know, sometimes you gotta wonder about people. More than sometimes. But with everything that's going on lately, with so many suspicious, you know, suspicious activities and all this stuff, and I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's very... Well, there's so much else that is involved in this, and like I said, that it would be too much to put in one video, and that leads to even more suspicion, even more. Plus, well, like I said, maybe 3 videos altogether, if something else doesn't come up. But let me just say, this is very suspicious. And I'm not liking it. And I've lived long enough to know that in life some things can be very suspicious and go on for a while, and you never know the truth. You'll never find out the truth. Some, not all. Anyway, I'm wrapping it up. I'll talk to you in another video. Bye.